Yeah, what do you like that?
6 questions. Including fucking Argan's question.
Do you want to see how many I've got? I reckon I've been asked more as well. I put up 3 boxes, which was stupid of me because we're going to have way too many questions. Oh no. Okay, I've got 24 questions now because Will Razzle's asked me a question as well. I've got loads, literally loads. We're going to have to do them quick fire.
This is not going to be an hour.
No, it's probably going to be an hour and a half. And Laurence is going to definitely come in at some point and ruin the whole podcast. But we're actually doing an intro this time because we haven't done an intro for the last 2 weeks when Laurence has been on the podcast. So just showing me that Laurence just isn't up to it. So I've decided to sack him. And we've got a new guest on the podcast today, a very special guest for episode 10. The one, the only, Harrison Smith.
AJ Morris.
You guys are not going to know him because he's just nowhere near as famous as me. So he hasn't got any posts on Instagram, but he trains at Ultraflex. So he was my second option after Laurence. After Laurence said he was
third.
Too busy.
After Leo as well.
Yeah, it's a third option. Laurence was too busy to come to the podcast today, apparently, because he needs to do a food shop. Fucking idiot. Honestly, I'm going to sack him. I'm going to sack him from the podcast.
You sacked him from training first.
Yeah, he's no longer my training partner.
And now you've sacked him from
I'm going to sack him from the podcast.
From his own podcast.
It's just not good enough, is it? A food shop. He said he's got a food shop to do, he's got to train pool, and he's got to make content tonight.
Yeah, and he's been to work.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough at all.
No.
The commitment, he was willing to miss the episode.
He actually will.
For our 10th episode as well. It's not good enough. There's no chance I'll miss an episode. That's nothing, I would never do that. Not to the fans.
He's been subbed out for literally someone who don't even post.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're going to start the new podcast. It's going to be a lot better nowadays. If Harrison passes this trial, I'm going to sack Laurence.
Full.
He just doesn't offer anything to the podcast anymore. If Harrison drops some knowledge today,
exactly. That's
then what does Laurence offer apart from like a good physique? That's it.
He knows AJ.
Yeah, he does know
AJ.
He can get AJ on the podcast, which will help. But yeah, so welcome to the 10th episode of the Limitless Physique Podcast. We are here with a special guest this week because Laurence can't make it, unfortunately. And hopefully next week or the next few weeks, we're going to get a different special guest. And this wasn't the special guest that we thought we were going to get for episode 10.
No.
That wasn't who we were bigging up. We weren't bigging up Harrison for the podcast.
It's for like an 80th minute sub.
Yeah, he was
probably 85th. They were like...
I was panicking earlier today. Because
2 hours ago.
I was like, I'm going to have to do this podcast on my own, solo. Yeah, and that wouldn't have ended up well, because I can't speak for an hour straight just on my own.
Definitely not.
I don't know, 'cause some of my...
But you had enough questions.
Yeah, some of my application responses are like 40 minutes, so I might be able to ramble it, but no one's listening to 40 minutes of me rambling on my own, so...
No. You could update about prep, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly, and there's nothing really to update. And also, if you haven't noticed, we are in a new flat. So me and Laurence have now moved to Sheffield from Rotherham, and we're in like a really nice area in Sheffield. I won't give the exact location in case, I don't know, Argan comes and visits me or something.
He will definitely come and visit, yeah.
Yeah, but I won't give the exact location.
You should get him on podcast.
It is a really nice flat, to be fair, and we're really happy with it. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just gonna get so many girls now.
No.
You don't reckon?
No.
Anyway, we'll give a bit of an update on us. So Harrison you're in peak off season, right? Peak off season.
35 weeks into off season.
Soft as fuck.
Soft as fuck.
No appetite at all.
No muscle gained.
Just 30 pounds of fat.
Just 30 pounds of fat,
That's how it should be done.
Fairly easy to gain that as well.
That's how a natty off season should be done.
Yeah, exactly.
Gaining, that's what I did. Yeah. That's what I did for 4 years.
Exactly. Look how much muscle you built.
Yeah, I went from 135 to 185 and just built no muscle over 4 years. Yeah. It was great. The only difference in those pictures I put up on Instagram was the lighting. That was literally it.
That's it.
I've just gained 17 pounds of good lighting. That's it.
That's exactly what you've done. You went at Ultraflex. You were.
I'm literally...
Peak off season, we were at Ultraflex.
No. When I came to Ultraflex, I was 165 after my pre-prep diet. Yeah. And I looked shit after that, because my pre-prep diet wasn't really a pre-prep diet, to be honest. It was more of my life's falling apart, I want to diet kind of diet.
I think that were it, yeah. I never saw you in real life at peak off season.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
I wish I did.
I literally was like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, no, the pictures were good. That is what it's supposed to look like, that is good.
And now I'm a complete stud. It's crazy how things change, isn't it?
And you've actually gone for a trim now.
Yeah, look at this. Unreal trim today for the podcast.
I'm gonna have to get down. It looks good.
It is good, it's decent. Happy with it. And now I've got the confidence again. After my diet break, my My diet fatigue's all gone.
You have come alive in this last week.
I have. No, honestly.
Especially when we were sat at work last week.
Yeah, Harrison works with me, by the way. That's how I know Harrison. Well, we knew each other from the gym before, but I work with Harrison.
We were literally sat there, and there were no words coming out of your mouth. I didn't stop talking. Do you know when it's a shop?
Yeah.
That was your first day. I think that was your first day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Saturday. Yeah.
No. Before that, you were dead.
Yeah, it was. It's weird though because carbs have such a big effect. I didn't think they would.
No, it definitely. You have come alive a lot.
It's mainly just from a social aspect. Yeah. I just didn't want to speak to anyone.
100%. Especially when we were training. What day were it? It was Saturday afternoon.
Oh yeah.
You were so much different.
Yeah.
To the week before.
Yeah, it's true. So, actually, I don't think we've done a podcast since I started the diet break.
No.
So, basically, I started my diet break last Saturday. So, I've been in a diet break for 6 days now. And basically, I have been slowly titrating my carbs up throughout the week. As I said before, I invented this method. Yeah. It's called the progressive linear diet break. That's what I'm going to coin it.
It's a good idea, yeah.
It is.
With a D volume.
With a D volume at the same time. And look at me, I came alive.
Exactly.
My fatigue is all gone.
Yeah.
I basically feel like I'm peak off season again. Yeah. I look peak off season as well.
You're full of water.
I've managed to overspill even though I've lost weight.
Yeah. Maybe next diet break, try something a bit different.
Yeah, maybe I'll start.
Just try something else.
Rather than just eating 10 pizzas every single day. Yeah. I'll have to try something a little bit different.
3 Domino's pizzas.
3 Domino's pizzas, a Cali Cruz burger. Yeah. What else? What else have I had this week? My mum asked me if I was available to go out for a meal on Sunday. Yeah. She's going to come up and see the new flat.
Oh, yeah.
And I said no.
You turned it down, yeah.
I said no.
You take it for a Cali Cruz?
Do you reckon?
Yeah. One of them, do you see that burger that they posted?
I don't even follow them.
It's got the Biscoff biscuit on top of the burger.
Oh, no.
Disgusting.
I'm in a diet, I still wouldn't want to have that.
You look disgusting. The smell of it is worse, honestly. On Saturday, it was awful. See, I ate my pre-workout meal literally half an hour before.
Oh shit. Sorry, mate.
Half an hour before we went to the gym. And I felt sick as it is. So I was literally just walking on the treadmill for a while. And the smell of Cali Cruz burger makes me just like having your pre-workout meal 30 minutes.
We've said this before, but
I don't get it.
It's the worst decision they've ever made.
At least DJ went there as well.
I wonder how much they're paying to be in there.
That would have been shit.
Imagine the DJs being in there and the Cali Cruz being open at the same time. I would just leave.
I think I've seen 2 people get a Cali Cruz burger.
I've never seen someone get one. I've seen Jack Thorburn get one. That's it. I've never seen
No, there was like 2 lads on Saturday waiting. That were it.
Really?
That's all I saw.
Laurence said he wants to get one before prep starts.
Why?
Laurence is like, you know what, I'm going to eat everything in sight before prep starts. Start prep from 2:40.
That's what he's been doing this week.
Yeah, that's why he can't make the podcast, because he's been cheating on his diet.
He's gone out for a meal.
He had a pizza last night as well. He's not being adherent at all.
He's lost his head.
He's got 2 more weeks till the start of prep and he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to completely ruin all my progress. No, I'm joking. He's still sticking to his calories, to be fair to him. But I think he's just having a little bit more balance before the start of prep, which is fair enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough, yeah.
But on prep, I think he's starting at 26 weeks out. So Laurence will be starting prep in 2 weeks' time, or a week and a half's time, which should be exciting.
It didn't look, on Saturday, he looked in a good spot to start prep.
Yeah, but that's not his best
What do you both
look.
say, 40 pounds to pull off?
Yeah, I said between 35 and 40. Yeah. I think if he did bodybuilding, he'd be like 180 on stage, or maybe like high 170s. And if he did physique, he'd be like low 180s, probably 185. It's hard to say, but from his past diets, that's what I think he'd be.
Yeah, but his legs are lean.
His legs are not lean.
He said
he's got the fattest legs I've ever seen.
Yeah, he told me, you actually kicked off in the gym because he told you his quads were lean, and then we're like that.
He was like, my quads aren't
did a quad stomp.
My quads aren't actually that fat, and he didn't have a fucking single line in his quad. It was awful.
No.
But yeah, he's slowly looking better, to be fair to him. His fullness is coming back. When we posed with AJ, as we said last week, he just didn't look good at all. And then we posed with you last week and he looked better.
He looked good.
But I don't think he's still at his peak physique, which is to be expected. He's only like...
Well, that was the first time I actually saw him.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, you were probably quite impressed. But I was like, yeah, he's still not quite at his best.
The thing is, he has got a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he does.
He has got a shit ton of muscle. He was arms and delts.
I don't really know anyone who's got that much muscle. Like, can you name someone who's got... Jovan's got probably that. I don't even know. I think Jovan's just got better shape.
I haven't seen a picture of Jovan off season.
I don't know what Jovan was on stage, but I think Jovan was probably quite light on stage. He's got really good shape.
Is he small?
I don't know. I think
tall wise.
I heard that he was like like between, I think he was like 70 kilos on stage or something. That's what Josh Coggins said, which is crazy. He looks like I'm 70 kilos now, which is crazy. But
yeah, but how tall is it?
I think he's like my height, or maybe a little bit smaller. Have you seen that Theo Golab? He's probably got the most muscle I've ever seen for a natty bodybuilder.
The thing is, I think posing with Laurence, it did actually put into perspective how big he is.
Yeah.
I don't want to pump his tires, but he has got a lot of muscle.
He's got tons of muscle. He's 225 and
to be fair, I think he should do a classic. I think his classic shots are amazing.
Really?
I don't honestly, that abs and thigh and that vacuum.
Yeah,
he literally, right, he went, I said, go and hit a vacuum. And he did it. And we didn't
realise he had pulled a vacuum.
Not at all.
That's how bad his midsection control
I don't know if he posted, has he posted them pictures?
No, he's not done the classic ones. His most muscular is sick though, like his most muscular is ridiculous. But yeah, I posed next to him in the past. When we first started coaching, like when I first started coaching him, we did a round of bodybuilding and I actually kept up with him. Well, he was still obviously beat me, but I beat him in some shots, like from the back I beat him. And now he just destroys
From
me.
the front, he's mad.
I don't see anyone beating him from the front.
I didn't see his legs though.
His quads are sick. Well, not anymore because he's fucking dislocated his knee. He's lost tons of fullness from his quads. Yeah. But his quads are really good. I think his quads are probably, when he was at his peak physique, I think his quads were probably better than his other body. Which is kind of mad because he's been training them once a week for a year. Yeah. I think my quads are probably, I don't know.
Where's he got? One full leg day.
Yeah.
Then an RDL on pull.
Yeah, an RDL on that. He used to have a hand curl on pull as well, but not anymore. Right now he's on a very weird split because of his injury, but...
Is he on 4 times a week as well?
Yeah, he does a push, pull, push, leg pull. So he has like half a leg day a week. That's
still high volume compared to what you do.
Yeah, to be fair.
What were you on? What do you say? You were on 4 sets of chest?
No, I'm not on 4 sets of chest.
I swear, no, in either that one session.
I'm on 5 sets of chest.
A week?
Yeah.
I thought you were. I thought that's what you said.
I've got...
honestly. And you complain that your chest was flat.
I've got 4 sets of like incline presses and 1 set of a dip a week. And that's it. But I'm pretty lean and I'm like deep into a dieting phase. My recovery capacity is not very high. I have really bad recovery capacity basically. Yeah. And it's not even like me being lazy. I literally can't recover. Yeah. Like before, I was doing like 2 sets of lats in a session and I couldn't recover in 3 days for my next pull session. So I had to pull down to 1 time per week frequency, which I didn't want to do because I wanted to keep my upper body at 2 times per week. But
well, you got pushed twice.
Yeah, push twice, pull once, leg once. Yeah. I wanted to keep my upper body at 2 times per week frequency. But at the end of the day, you've got to prioritise progression and mechanical tension over frequency and over volume. So that's what I have to do. I think I will go back to, as soon as my recovery capacity allows me to, I'll go back to training upper body twice a week.
It's mad how it changes. Like so I do push Monday and then pull Wednesday and I've got 2 sets of lats on push.
Really?
I've got 2 sets of single arm pullover. Yeah. And I can recover fine from it.
Depends on the movement as well though, don't it?
Yeah, and I do it before, well, I were doing a flat dumbbell press, but honestly, that is winding me up. I literally weren't getting anything from it. It were like an elbow press. All I got was elbow and like delt.
Just never getting out of the length and range. Just wobbling all. That was me.
Like Laurence watched me do it once, and he went to spot me, and I don't think he knew how unstable I were at it. Yeah. So I flicked dumbbells back, and I didn't know he was gonna spot me off the first rep, and we were just like this, we were just like idiots.
He did a dumbbell curl.
Yeah, honestly, but I've pulled that out because today the resistance band and the daisy chain arrived.
Did it?
I got it on next day because I thought I didn't want to risk it not coming this week.
You're officially a science neat now.
Yeah, I am.
As soon as you buy a resistance band and a daisy chain.
I've got minimal free weight exercises now.
I don't have any.
I'm not going to get dense.
I didn't have any in my off season. Fuck free weights.
I'm not going to get dense.
You're going to have such like shallow muscle.
That's it.
You're going to be on stage and just, he doesn't do free weights. That's what everyone's going to say when they look at you on stage.
Yeah, that's the first thing they're going to think.
You'll turn to the back and go,
he doesn't barbell squat.
He doesn't do barbell rows.
No, definitely not.
Seen those erectors? He doesn't do.
I tried that dumbbell row.
RDL.
I tried that dumbbell row and literally just got erector. Yeah. There were nothing out.
You got the 40s though, which is decent.
Yeah, I got the 40s.
That's about my dumbbell RDL right now.
Yeah, but it weren't anything. I didn't get any back at all. Not any part of my back.
You just got joints and CNS. That's it.
We were just CNS row.
A CNS day.
Yeah.
That was it. But yeah, that's pretty much an update from ourselves. We have got tons of questions today because I stupidly put up 3 question boxes.
I think I've got like 6.
6, and I've got 23. Should we try and get through every single one?
Yeah.
I reckon we've got time.
I reckon we've got it.
Laurence is definitely going to turn up at some point.
Just get Laurence in, he can come film some.
If he turns up, I'm going to tell him to
He will
fuck
turn
off.
up. He will turn up.
If he turns up, that shows that he could have done the podcast.
He's going to turn up and see, yeah.
I guarantee you. We'll say this now. He'll turn up and he'll try and get involved.
I think he could have even asked. He could have messaged you back and gone, "Oh, could we film it an hour later?"
No, that was fine. I said we can film it tonight.
So it don't make a difference.
He's going to try and get involved, and I'm just going to tell him to fuck off. Yeah, he's not committed to this cause. He's not committed to making this the biggest podcast in the world.
No, he's not. This is going to get more views.
This is why we are going to rate it as number 3 as a podcast.
What did he rate above you?
He rated.
Once you're in, you're in.
Okay, so he rated once you're in, you're in above us, even though he doesn't like Reese and Finn. So that shows how good our podcast is. He rated someone who he doesn't like above us. And then he also rated, I don't know this podcast, but he rated Grow or Die. Have you heard of that?
No.
So,
I literally listened to Fuad Abiad's one.
Yeah.
I love that podcast.
Ours is better though, right?
Yeah, definitely. Who else did I listen to? I've watched who are them guys that did the one with the recent one with AJ, and do you know the one with Jack?
Club Iron.
Yeah, they're good.
I've not listened to those yet.
Yeah, honestly, it's good. I watched the one with George as well. Do you know the natural to enhanced one?
Yeah.
That was quite good. But I think the one with AJ were good. I haven't finished it yet, but that were good.
It's not going to be as good as our podcast with AJ.
No, not this one.
We're going to get AJ and we're going to get him to sit there, and we're going to make it the best podcast that AJ's ever done.
It will be a good podcast.
We're not going to ask him.
Interview though, isn't it?
We're not going to ask him about every single podcast.
Yeah,
that he
don't
goes
ask
on.
him about MBW.
No. Every single podcast that he goes on, everyone just asks him about how he got into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And then he'll tell the story about his go-karting.
Yeah,
but we want to go deep. We want to take it a different way.
The majority of the questions that got asked, it just talks like MBW.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone just wants business advice. I think you should talk more.
So what my idea, I spoke to Laurence about this, my idea, if we got AJ on the podcast, would be with regards to the mindset of bodybuilding, like how he has the mindset that he has in terms of his hack squatting 6.5 plates, like how he makes that in his mind seem possible.
Yeah, that's mad.
And how he can transfer that into his training. That's what I want to go into with him, about the mindset towards bodybuilding. So
yeah, that is crazy, and he has spoke about it. I remember him speaking about it, like just proving that he can do it, because I've not seen anyone else do that.
I did it.
Yeah.
I did 7 plates unbanded, paused at the bottom as well.
Unbanded.
And on the 2-second pause at the bottom.
Yeah. What hack squat was that?
That was
the invisible hack squat.
No, that was the Atlantis.
Yeah, that is so
ego
light.
hack squat. The ego hack squat. That's what that's called.
I think I used that once when I first worked with Finn. Someone were on the Cybex, so I'm like, I'll just use that Atlantis, it'll be fine.
It's brutal.
Yeah, honestly,
it's light
awful.
as fuck, but it's so.
I don't like the angle of it.
No, it's literally a leg press.
So I just don't hack squat at all anymore. That's why my legs are going to be shit on stage.
Legs. I hit a PB today. Well, not a lifetime PB. My lifetime PB on the Cybex is.
You just banded it tighter.
I don't band it. I literally don't band it.
I don't believe you.
Do you see a band in this video?
Everything.
There's literally no band in this video, mate. Look at this.
Your bicep curls.
Can you see a band? Wait. Can you see a band?
No, I can't.
You can't see a band. There's no band there. There's literally a band. There's literally a band.
Is there a band? Yeah. I thought there would be a band.
There's literally a band.
Because the last time you did it,
tight.
I've seen you do 3 plates with the band, and I'm like, no, you can't. I believed you, but I thought, no.
Oh yeah, the first time we trained together, I did 3 plates. That's fucking embarrassing, that.
I did do it.
I did 3.75 today.
What did I do? 1. I think I did 1.5.
Yeah, you did.
Then pulled it out.
You did 10 kg aside for 2.
No, I'm not being funny. My squatting strength is shocking. It's literally awful. And I don't know what it is. And I think it's just the fact that I have to have my feet that high to actually get depth, because my ankle mobility is shocking.
Have you got long femurs?
I don't know.
I'm always talking about my femurs.
I know, you're not sure about that. Was the first question you asked me, and I'm like, mate, I don't know.
You got to know. Look, you can tell. Okay, I'm showing a video again, but
no one can see it.
Look at my femurs in this video. I have the longest femurs anyone has ever seen.
Yeah, but like, I don't think it's.
Look at this. Look at that. Look at it.
Yeah, they are.
It looks stupid.
Yeah, they are. But I don't even think it's that. How high do you have your feet on the platform?
Have a look.
I just can't get the depth on it.
For my leg length, I can get a good amount of depth.
Like, especially on a leg press, trying to get, or like on a hack squat, trying to get knee over toe. Only squat movement I could do that is like a Bulgarian split squat.
What's the limiting factor though? Your mobility.
I think it's my ankles.
Yeah, that's what it usually is. Ankle mobility.
And literally, when I was working with Finn, I literally did so much ankle work.
Yeah.
Like, and it just didn't do anything. I literally, like, I thought that he sent me some like exercises to do to try and help it, but I still couldn't just get. It still have to have my feet so high to do it, so I just get all glute. That's why I just do no glute movement.
And that's why you're gonna have a massive ass.
Yeah, just gonna have a massive ass on the stage. Just gonna have best ass on the stage.
Just no quad, no hamstring.
Yeah.
You get loads of hamstring from a squat, don't you?
Yeah.
Especially a hack squat, you get loads.
Especially in the, at the bottom.
Yeah, right at the bottom. You could like do an RDL on the hack squat, or do like a good morning on the hack squat.
Yeah.
You get lots of hamstring from that. So that's what I'm gonna start doing.
Yeah.
Because my hamstrings, I thought my hamstrings were shredded, and then I posed with Adrian, and he was like, they're not.
I thought they were quite lean.
But they haven't got any leaner since the start of prep.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, they were lean at the start.
Yeah.
No,
They haven't got any leaner.
Your legs are going to come in so quick.
My quads are lean. Like my quads are pretty much lean all the way up to my hip.
That picture you took the other day, was that here? Or the old place?
Oh, it's at the old place.
That was good.
Yeah.
Your legs look sick then, but...
But yeah, my hamstrings literally are the same condition as they were at the start of prep. So at 170, there's no difference in my hamstring condition to 150.
And we also said you should swap men's physique. We should make a new class.
Yeah.
Men's casual.
Men's casual.
Wear
trousers.
joggers.
it is annoying though.
So you can't see your calves.
I'd say my quads are probably my best body part.
Yeah.
Would you say? Or my lats maybe. But my quads are up there.
I think the only thing with your lats is when you flare them, it doesn't look like... You even said that yourself, you can't flare out properly.
I'm going to get...
you need to sort... Yeah, you need to
get Amanda to sort me out.
Yeah, she needs to sort you out.
I'm going to start getting massage work bi-weekly because my scalp is just fucked. Recently, my scalp's just been fucked. I can't get my lats out in a lat spread.
That's what I mean.
Not that I need to get them out for men's physique, really. Maybe a little bit in the rear relaxed, but yeah, I just can't. That's the main reason. I think my lats are decent, but they're just...
Yeah, I don't think it'll hurt you to get them out even further.
Yeah, but as I was saying, my quads are probably my strongest body part, and my calves are my weakest body part by far. Like, I've never seen...
You've got no excuse to have weak calves.
There's no excuse.
AJ spoke about this.
My hero, AJ, has said that there's no excuse. I watched that video and I thought, I can't believe he said this.
Yeah. I literally came in to this flat today, first time I've seen it, and there's a picture of AJ, on the ceiling above his bed.
Yeah, I look at him every night. I pray to him before I go to bed. I pray to him that I win the MBW Classic. That's going to get me to win. If I win the MBW Classic and Junior Physique,
that's it.
It's because of that. I pray to AJ every single night.
Have you spoke about? I don't know if you like doing that, but you spoke about anyone else that's doing that show?
I know a couple of people who are doing it. The junior class. Yeah. They're really nice guys. To be fair, I spoke to them quite a lot in the DMs. Aaron, he watches the podcast, so shout out to Aaron. I think he's not sure if he's doing junior or novice. Yeah. Because
you said they changed it, didn't they?
Yeah. So at the show now, you can either do junior, so that's not novice. Any junior can do it. So they don't have to be a first timer. Or you can do novice, and that will be split. That won't be junior, so that'll be all ages. Right. So Aaron was like, he wasn't sure if he was going to do junior or novice. So
what are you thinking?
I'm going to do junior. I want to give myself the opportunity to compete for worlds or qualify for worlds. Yep. If you do novice, you can't qualify for worlds because it's not a world championship qualifier. So I'm definitely doing junior. But yeah, so Aaron's competing in that show against me, and then this guy called Ben, he's also competing in that show. But I don't know anyone else who's doing it.
No.
I think there will be more. I think there should be around 5 to 10 in the class. That's usually what it is. Have
the tickets come out for that show yet?
I think so, yeah.
I couldn't find them the other day. I sent a message because I couldn't find them.
I'm going to have a right crowd at this show.
Yeah, literally are. I'm literally going to have 20 people. I'm going to see Harley.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, yeah. No, honestly.
Harley would literally beat me.
It would.
In bodybuilding?
Yeah, men's physique as well.
You reckon?
No. I don't think Harley's got a very men's physique, but he's got like a...
He's got tons of muscle.
Yeah, I just love the way he fucking trains. It's mad. I love it.
He trains
See, this is why he's got muscle, because he does barbell rows.
That's literally why I haven't got muscle.
That's why his back's a shit.
Yeah.
Because he does barbell rows.
He'll do well in team. The team class is looking good. There was another guy who's doing teams.
I want to see what...
Oh yeah, Harrison's
18. Oh yeah, we didn't even speak about this. So yeah, the plan is to do teens bodybuilding September, October. No, August, September next year.
Yeah, for the qualifier.
To see... I don't know, see what happens. I'm going to look at... I've got 40 weeks left off season, pushing.
Yeah, pre-prep diet as well.
And I'm not going to set any sort of, pressure on competing next year. I want to, and I think it'd be a good place to see where I'm at. But I want to wait till the end of the year and obviously look at myself and think, do I have enough muscle? Have I built any muscle? Because the thing is, like last year, from my starting point before I started this push-up, I was very lean. I probably walked like 10 pounds off show condition.
Yeah, your back was shredded. You probably had like a little bit more off the front, and that's...
No, that's what I thought. My legs weren't lean as such, but I didn't really look at my legs.
You had quite a men's physique shape when you were lean, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what I mean, but I think my legs do take the piss to grow. They take some fucking hammer. Like, I train legs with Leo, and it just batters the shit out.
That's because you and Leo do about 2 sets of legs per session.
We didn't. I did loads.
Leo literally does
Leo does,
volume leg session every single week, and that's
honestly.
it.
We did 1 set of adductor. He sat on the Life Fitness adductor. And there's a sign on it saying it's not working. So we went for the gym shop adductor snapper.
Yeah.
And I think we both got about.
He's added in the barbell row. Leo has. Yeah, he sent me a voice note the other day. He's like, swapping the T-bar row out for the barbell row. I was like... I'm not a big fan of any T-bar row. Have you used any of them T-bar rows at Ultraflex? No, I don't like any of them.
I don't.
There's one at Premier.
Which is what's the one with the...
Watson
one.
That's okay.
It's just heavy as fuck.
Yeah, but you can adjust it quite a lot, which makes it decent in terms of lining up with the upper back. But there's one at Premier, the pre-core one. I really like the pre-core one.
I don't think I've used many pre-core pieces.
I
think they're a standing calf. I swear I saw a standing calf at the old gym I used to train at. I swear they were pre-core standing calf.
But they're quite rare pieces of kit, to be fair, pre-core. Yeah. But the pre-core T-bar is actually really good. Yeah. I enjoyed that.
Oh, no, what? Yeah. Show next year. Kind of want to look at end of this year and see where I'm at. I don't want to place any pressure on me competing next year.
Yeah.
I do really want to see where I'm at, but I don't want to. Obviously, I want to go to a few shows this year and see where,
It's a double-edged sword because competing will give you an idea of how much you really love bodybuilding if you want to be in it for the long term. But it will also prevent you from growing for such a long time while being at your age. You want to be in a surplus and you want to be growing for as long as possible. So
especially that,
Harrison will be a junior in 2028, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's a long time. It's like, obviously I've got I probably will not grow that entire year. I'll probably still grow a little bit in the obviously being properly training for
I think
year and a half, 2 years. It's like,
I think you'll grow for the majority of prep.
That's what I mean. I think
then you won't grow for the last 12 weeks of prep, and then you won't grow for 12 weeks after.
No, yeah, definitely.
Because you're recovering.
Definitely. And I just don't want to. Obviously, I know I've got a long time, but I don't really want to waste any time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just don't sit right in my head, thinking to waste time. But obviously, I want to do a show, and especially going to shows this year and seeing you prep. Like on Saturday, I said to you, I'm like, I just want to diet now.
Yeah.
So
it is fun.
The thing is, when I got like lean when I went on my holiday, it's like it weren't difficult.
Yeah,
I was on 2.8k on the training day and 2.2k on the non-training day.
Yeah, which is high food for how lean you were.
Yeah,
that's very high food.
And I don't know why I got that lean.
Just for fun.
Yeah. It was that easy to get.
I did that in 2020. I was like, when we went into lockdown in 2020, I was like, I'm gonna get shredded.
It wasn't even that. That's what I mean. I didn't have one problem once with getting that lean.
Yeah, that's what it usually is. You struggle a little bit with appetite, don't you, in the off season? Yeah. And if that's the case, you're probably going to be able to get lean very easily.
And I think that when I used to train before college, I used to get up at 6, go straight to gym, and then come back and then eat and then go to college. And I think I used to train fasted as well.
Oh, right.
I think that helped it. But the thing is, my training performance back then, obviously looking at my training performance now, is not as good as it is now.
Yeah.
But I didn't think there were a problem back then with it.
Well, that's what it is. When you don't know that things could be better, you progress really well.
And I've actually got a question on this as well, but my training style were completely different back then.
Yeah.
To what it is now.
I
now train like a pussy.
You're a bit of a bro.
I literally were. But I think that's the gym environment that we're in. It's like literally the most old school.
To be fair, when you're starting off
gym ever,
and you're going to grow off anything, then just do what you enjoy. Yeah. There's no need to go straight into
I did enjoy it. And obviously I'll touch more on it when we get the question, but I think, I was thinking about it the other day, I'm like, I just want to go back and just fucking rag weight.
It's all good in the off season doing that, and then you go into a diet and
definitely.
It's just awful doing
I think that'd be a good topic to touch on, to be fair. There's a lot you can talk about that.
So you're basically in the position where Harrison basically knows he's got the frame for bodybuilding because he's very wide and he's got a small waist, but it just doesn't have the muscle right now.
Not anymore. No, I ain't got a small waist anymore.
It's smallish.
Yeah, but it were.
Oh yeah, but you're
when I was
like,
lean, it was small.
Yeah, but you're like 195.
Now,
Mate, my waist was fat, so fat when I was off season.
No, it's just an illusion. I just keep pulling my boxes further up.
That's what I do. Yeah. Everyone back home asks me why I do that, and in like
it's just to cover the amount of fat, because my fat distribution is literally lower back, ass, and abs. Yeah.
That's mine. Not ass though.
Like
I'm pretty lean glutes.
You do.
How do you know about my glutes?
And your hamstrings.
Yeah, that's a bit sus.
It is a little bit. It was that first time we posed together.
Yeah.
Just broke the ice.
Were you 18?
Broke your ass out.
I hope you were 18 then. If not, I'm going to jail.
No, I think you were 18.
I was 18, yeah. But
no, I was 18, sorry, yeah.
I really hope you were, because when was it? It was
I think it was this year though. I think it was January.
I was on prep, so it was January, because it was just after New Year.
Yeah, you're right, you said.
So yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to jail. That's good. So we'll start with the questions then, because we have got tons to get through. So I've got like 22 questions to get through. So we'll quick fire some of them. Yep. Some of them can be quick fired, and then we'll go into the ones with a little bit more detail after that. So I'll start with Will Razzo says, when are you and Laurence coming S20 with the big boys? So he doesn't care about you.
No.
He's not bothered about you coming to
be
S20.
fair, you did mention that you were going to, swap a few sessions out.
Yeah, we were thinking about coming to S20 for a couple of sessions a week, because we were kind of getting a bit sick of Ultraflex.
I don't blame you. Me and Leo were talking about it the other day. It is going downhill. It is going downhill a little bit.
With the DJs especially.
DJs, Cali Cruz.
The thing that made it so good was it's just like, it was bodybuilding. That's all it was.
That's it. And it's not that anymore.
No.
I don't know. Well, I'm not. But you are. There's a lot of fucking tripods. And I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I think
I'm one of those tripods.
You are. You're a tripod kid.
I'm literally a tripod kid.
But it's like, I don't have a problem with it, but everyone's doing it now.
Yeah. It does get pretty packed.
Another question.
It's like midday is the influence.
It's another reason I don't do it, and very often. Yeah. And it's another reason that I train in the morning. Yeah. When I train, like when me and Leo trained legs at, I think we met like 8:30. We had one meal, then we go train. And I think as well, training legs after, especially on the amount of food I'm on, training legs after more than one meal.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
But it's fine at that time. But I don't know what S20's like.
I might start training legs on Tuesday.
I don't know what S20's like.
It's good. It's got good equipment.
I saw the Nave Styles that trains there.
I'm not sure who trains there. I've only seen Will train there, but
it's just Will that trains there.
I wonder why he trains there, not Ultraflex.
Yeah, because he lives in Sheffield.
Yeah, so like Ultraflex, I'm living in Sheffield now, and Ultraflex is like 15 minutes away. So
yeah, it's 15 minutes from mine.
I don't know why.
But probably the same reason I trained at that other gym that I trained at for so long.
Yeah.
Only reason I would have stayed at that other gym if I didn't get with Finn.
Yeah.
No, in that way. But
you got with Finn?
I got with Finn, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, if I didn't start working with
when you were 17 as well?
Yeah, when I was 17.
That's Finn Kelly cancer.
Mate, he's in prison as well. You're both going?
Both gone.
You're both goners.
Looking at someone posing when they're 17, it's not on. We'll go on to the next question. Okay, I've got one there. Well, actually, I'll go through some of the...
Yeah, start with Argan's questions.
I'll go through some of the quick fire ones. Argan says, why did you stop following me?
Good question.
I think it was by accident. I didn't know I'd stopped following him. I must have clicked it by accident. Sorry, mate. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. How to best work your chest with an oblique Smith machine? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
An oblique Smith machine.
It's not brown.
Is it meant to say something else? Oblique.
Oblique.
So your obliques on a Smith machine.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Can't answer that one. Okay.
It's a good start.
Is the intra-workout supposed to be drank in a short span throughout the workout or throughout the whole workout? So is an intra-workout supposed to be drank in a short amount of time or throughout the whole workout? And this is like, it's probably just thinking into it too much, but from a complete optimality standpoint, you'd want to have the EAAs from the intra in a short amount of time, and you want to have the carbs over a long amount of time. So really you should be splitting your intra into two, but I think it's just overcomplicating things too much.
I think there's two answers to it. I think for the reason why you're taking the intra. I think if it's like the setting I'm in, my training performance is fine. If I don't have an intra, my training is fine. I think if you've got if I'm training for like 2-3 hours, why would I not take that opportunity to add in some extra carbs?
Yeah,
it's not going to cause any damage. If anything, it's going to like give me a benefit.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't see why not.
I'd say just don't worry about it, mate, to be honest. But if you really want to overcomplicate things and make sure you're doing things to the most optimal degree, then you'd probably want to have your EAAs in a short amount of time. So just down your EAAs probably a couple of hours into your workout. So the EAAs are only there to spike muscle protein synthesis. So obviously if your workout's like 3 hours, you might be having like 5 or 6 hours between your pre and post. Yeah. And that's why you'd want to have the EAAs in there to spike muscle protein synthesis again while you're training. So I wouldn't overthink it, but potentially have your EAAs separate to your carbs and then down the EAAs.
Or if you're drinking it from a like performance benefit, I think probably having it earlier on in your session. I think drinking it during like your first 2 or 3 movements.
Yeah. I always say try and finish your intra by the time you finish your compounds.
Yeah.
That's what I say to clients.
Yeah. That's what I usually do in mine. I think that's just for the fact obviously at the minute I've run out of intra and I'm like, I looked at the price of intra, I'm like, no.
Just been having Haribos instead.
Yeah, it's just slamming Haribos. No, like I've been put Lucozade in.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't affect my stomach. And what is it, 30 grams of carbs? And I usually have that within like the first 2 or 3.
I don't even have an intra anymore.
You know?
I just have EAAs. I don't have any carbs in my intra. Because I just want more carbs pre, to be honest.
That's fair enough.
I've just been a fat bastard.
Yeah.
So I just have more oats.
To be fair, I think
just the same thing.
If it's not gonna, like you said earlier, I think you can train fine without an intra. I don't think it's something you need.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's an argument that some people got, it could be more beneficial when you're dieting. But I think if you can train fine without it, and you're not, obviously you're not like dragging your ass through the session.
Yeah. It's something that you want to look at if you are finding that you're struggling with energy.
That's what I mean, yeah.
At the end of the session.
Yeah.
If that happens, then maybe looking to get an intro.
But if you're hungry, don't waste your carbs on a fucking intro.
That's why I've taken them out. Because I was like, 20 carbs are just going.
The benefit it's going to give you is not.
And if I'm having more oats pre anyway, that's going to give me more slow releasing carbs throughout the workout anyway. So it's going to do the same thing as having an intro. I just eat more, and be a fat bastard.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want to ask one, or should I keep going through mine? Because
you might as well.
I'll just keep going through these. Okay. Is there much difference between having 10 grams of EAAs or 20 grams of EAAs intra-workout? And the answer for this is it just depends on how much you weigh and how big you are as a person. So the EAAs, for 10 grams of EAAs, you're going to get 3 grams of leucine. I'm not reading from my phone. That looked like I was reading from my phone. Ryan exposed. He doesn't actually have any knowledge.
You're going to have to show your phone again.
Yeah.
You've shown it 3 times. This podcast so far.
That would have been an exposing moment. I've got no knowledge. I just read a script from my phone during the podcast.
You copy and paste.
Yeah, that's all you copy and paste information.
Copy and paste content.
I didn't invent EAAs, so I can't actually speak about it.
Yeah, you didn't invent the re-adults either.
Yeah, so the answer for this is that for fully spiking muscle protein synthesis, you want to be getting around 0.4 grams per kilogram of protein of a complete source per meal. So for EAAs, in 10 grams of EAAs, you'll get 3 grams of leucine, and 3 grams of leucine is all you need to maximize muscle protein synthesis. So it depends, obviously it depends on your weight. If you're 100 kilos, you're probably going to need more towards that 4 gram of leucine mark, and therefore you're probably going to require, 12 grams of EAAs, but I don't really see the point of having 20 grams of EAAs intra, because that's like 6 grams of leucine intra-workout, which you just don't need. It's just a bit of a waste of money, to be honest.
And again, same with carbs. I don't think it's needed. I don't think it's necessary for the years during your training.
I don't think it is. It
could provide like a tiny benefit, but I think it's like unless you're eating your pre-workout meal.
I'd say if it's any more than 5 hours, then I think it's needed.
Yeah.
And for some people it is that, because they train for so long. Like for Laurence, because he trains for like 3 to 4 hours, there's such a big gap in between his pre and his post that he probably does need it in EAA.
He slams 3 pizzas before he trains, so.
Yeah, massive protein spike from that.
Yeah. Pepperoni pizzas.
Pepperoni pizza, margarita pizza, Cali Cruz burger, about 200 grams of protein.
Then he has an intro. He has a Cali Cruz intro.
Cali Cruz intro. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's good. That.
Fat bastard. Sorry, Laurence. I'm giving you a lot of hate today because you bottled the podcast.
Yeah, you did bottle the podcast.
It's not good enough.
Yeah.
I've got a question from Harrison Smith, but I can't answer this.
It's because I didn't think I was coming on the podcast.
Yeah, this is before he was coming on the podcast. So I can't ask this.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
That's what I mean. It's what I have to go through every week when you're sending in these questions.
I mean, my questions are good. I didn't ask one last week because she ignored it the week before. So I was like,
if it was actually something I could answer and something that wouldn't get me disowned by my family, then I'd answer it.
I don't think it was that bad.
Fair, I don't think my family will listen to the end of the podcast anyway, so.
No.
Next question is, how do you cope with stress? This is from my sister. So, do you want to answer it? Or do you want me to give it a go?
Sure, I think...
Just don't be stressed. That's all it is.
Just don't worry about it, no.
Just don't be stressed.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I think routine's the biggest part.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially like today. It's like obviously like this morning, I had a change in shift, so I got to work at 6 and I finished at 2. Then I still knew I had a lot of things to do in that day, so obviously I didn't wait till this morning to think, oh, when am I going to do these things? I had it planned from last night. So I'm going to finish work at 2, come home, finish all the other things I've got to do, like post office trips, got a plan to do, and then got a few other bits to do. And obviously you just fucked it all up.
Yeah, I did.
By begging me to come on your podcast.
I did make it a bit hard.
But the thing is, it's still like, I think if you've got in your routine, not just time to manage extra things, but I think if you've got, like, when we were looking at that routine thing of the day, you had gaps in it.
Yeah,
but the gaps, they're not gaps. The gaps to actually fill in with stuff. And I think it's probably more difficult if you've got a longer job.
Yeah, 100%.
The thing we were talking about Laurence, and I think you're saying about him getting stressed. I think he manages his routine. I think he stresses too much that his routine's not the same every day.
Mine's completely different every day.
But I still think if it's different every day and you still plan it, I still don't think you can manage a lot of that stress throughout the day.
Yeah, I think that stress comes from you have mental chaos, basically, having chaos within your mind. So if you have this schedule and you have a really strict routine, then you'll know exactly what you're doing at every single point of the day, and therefore all of these things will get done, and therefore you won't have to stress about not doing them.
Yeah, that's what as well. I think, especially with your diet, I think, and if it's your macro sort of approach, that would just stress the shit out of me.
Yeah,
honestly, that would just
create so much more food.
If I don't know what meal I'm having at what time, I think my head would explode.
I'm the same, but I suppose
everyone's different.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you can get in a really good routine, then it will just carry over into so many different aspects of your life.
Definitely.
Your training will be better, your nutrition will be better, your recovery will be better because your sleep will be better. Everything gets improved by being in a good routine. That's why we have like a scheduling sheet on our online coaching sheets, because it's so important. And if clients can use that and get in a really good routine and have a really consistent schedule, they're just going to improve in every other facet of life.
Yeah.
I'd also say, obviously stress isn't always to do with being out of routine and having chaos.
Definitely not, yeah.
So also it can occur due to different life events happening.
Yeah.
But this is a hard one because obviously people are going to deal with things differently. But for me, all I really think about when something stressful occurs in my life is what is the worst thing that can come out of this scenario? And always by imagining what the worst possible scenario is, that eases your mind, because the worst possible scenario or occurrence of whatever the stress is, or the result of whatever the stress is, the worst possible result is never really that bad. Like,
yeah, I agree.
What's the worst thing that can be from a stressor? You die. Well, you're dead. Big deal.
Yeah. I think that's one way that me and you look at it similar. Like on the way here, when you heard that you thought a car was going to explode. Yeah. The car did sound like it was going to explode on the way here. But I think it's not as easy as just think of it like that. I think you've got to be able to look at it that way and learn how to look at it in that way. So I think you could definitely you heard your fucking car making that noise on the way here, you could have been like, oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, if it blows up. I think that also comes from having life experiences though. If you haven't really experienced much trauma or many life experiences, then small things can stress you out because you've never experienced something worse than that.
But to be fair, I don't think I haven't experienced a lot of life trauma, but I think it's more like, I think you've been put in situations where you've got to make decisions, and I think the decision making and understanding the decision, the outcomes of the decision, I think that's one way you can manage stress, especially because a lot of stress comes from decision making. Yeah.
And not knowing what's going to happen in the future.
That's exactly it.
So yeah, just like really thinking about what the worst possible scenario could result from this stressor, and then being okay with that and accepting that scenario. Yeah. And then it's probably not going to be that bad at the end of the day. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'd say to dealing with stress, routine, and thinking about what the worst possible scenario would be.
As well as to do with stress, I think a lot of people think, oh, downtime, that's a good way to manage
I'm the
stress,
opposite.
but that stresses a shit out of me.
I can't do nothing.
No, neither can I. I think even if I'm sat wanting to watch something, it's got to be something I'm watching that's beneficial.
Really? I can like, if I've been really productive in the day, I can sit down and watch Netflix for an hour. Say I've done like 12 hours of work in a day, then I can do that. Yeah. But if I haven't been productive in the day, there's no way I can sit down and do nothing because I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
I think the only time I have that before is when I'm sat at home before I train.
Yeah.
I think I like to put that hour before I eat and then, 45 minutes before I eat and then drive to the gym. I have like 45 minutes, I eat, I have 45 minutes and then drive to gym. And I think that 45 minutes, I think it's a big thing. I know it's like hippie as fuck. And you've seen people... Huh?
Athlete mode.
Athlete mode. And you've seen heard people say it before. But it's like watching, not like kind of visualising what you want to achieve. Yeah. I think I never did it. But it's a big thing I've been starting to do, and I think it's like, especially like training after work on a Saturday, I haven't had time to sit and think,
yeah, of course.
All right, let me have 10 minutes and let me just get my head in this. That's why like on a Saturday, especially we've been busy and everything else, it just fucking blows your mind.
Yeah, I'm the same with training. After I have my pre-workout meal, I can't go back to doing work then.
No,
that pre-workout meal is like splitting up my day between work and training. I agree. Yeah. So that's what I'm the same. So
that's
actually what living here is gonna be better, because previously in Rotherham, we had a 5-minute drive to the gym, and now it's a 20-minute drive. I actually prefer that because I get that space in between pre-workout meal and training where I can just visualise the session and think about what I'm going to do.
So I'll sit and watch something, YouTube, something probably something related to my session, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then obviously drive to the gym, stick some music on, and just forget about everything else. And that's probably easier said than done.
Yeah.
And it does take a while to actually get used to that.
I think if you can create time in the day to make sure that you're doing all the things you need to do, then you can have that time off and have a little bit of time before training to make your training as effective as possible. Next question. Signs you're overtraining before performance drops. So basically, oh no. Oh, great. Laurence is there. Well, let's see what he does.
Gorilla's here.
We'll carry on until he comes in, because he's definitely going to come in. Signs you're overtraining before performance drops. So the one I always say, for me personally, is motivation. If my motivation drops, I know that a deload is needed soon, because I'm always motivated to go to the gym and I always enjoy going to the gym. Yeah. So the big one for me is motivation. Potentially also you could see some differences in sleep. As your fatigue builds up, you can have slight reductions in sleep quality and sleep duration. Appetite also, being more stressed due to having higher fatigue is going to basically reduce your appetite. So that's another one. But yeah, I'd say the main one for me is motivation. If I'm going through a session and towards the end of the session I'm not feeling very motivated and I don't want to complete it.
This guy?
What's he doing?
Can I hear? You're pissing so loud. I'm surprised he's not.
He's ruining the podcast, aren't he?
He literally is.
I hate him. I really hope he moves out, to be honest. Do you want to move in?
Yeah, moving in straight in. This is it. You should have changed the locks whilst you were in.
Yeah. Oh, please don't come in.
No, he's going to come in. He's literally going to come in.
Yeah, as I was saying, if I'm going towards the end of my session and I'm like, I want the session to finish before doing my isolations, that's when I know that I'm probably a little bit too fatigued, because I love training. So yeah, that's usually what I'd say.
And I think another thing that I usually look at is, I usually look sleep, duration and quality. If there's down, you fucking ruined it.
Mate, we're filming the podcast.
You fucking shit. You.
Mate, look, you're on the fucking podcast.
Get on my show.
Look at this guy.
Right.
I knew we were going to come in and cause it.
No, you're
carry on now.
Fatigue.
Talking about fatigue.
Yeah. I've slandered you so hard.
You have been slandered, yeah.
And you literally
I literally said I hated you 10 seconds ago. I hate you.
Just fuck your mic.
I'm going to say it to your face. I hate you.
When we sign the podcast, all we can hear
is episode 10. Episode 10 and you missed it. All we can hear is you pissing.
Oh, bruv, it took me about 50 minutes to walk home.
I literally don't care.
Okay.
We're trying to film the podcast. We're literally trying to film the podcast.
Okay,
we can't carry on when you're in it.
You got anything to add?
Do you want to touch on how you... Basically
Ask him about the managing stress question.
Yeah, so, Laurence, come and answer it.
Okay.
Come and answer it.
Hang on.
Let's see if you can drop knowledge from...
Do you want your seat back?
Without any preparation.
No, it's alright, I'll squeeze it. I'm a bit soggy, but...
You don't have a mic though.
You don't have a mic.
Hello, boys.
So,
hello.
signs you're overtraining before performance drops.
Signs that you're what? Overtraining.
You know what that means?
I know what overtraining means. Before performance drops. Sleep. Sleep gets fucked up initially.
Gets fucked up, yeah.
Yeah, gets fucked up.
Good answer.
What else? What else before
Look at this
training?
guy's hair.
Yeah, I know. It's not good, is it?
Oh no.
Sorry, I'm gonna get it all over the mic. Brev, it's absolutely tipping it down. Yeah, it's so bad. Motivation. So motivation to train goes down.
When you're in the toilet.
You what?
You just had me say that.
Really? Oh, no, I didn't, I promise. Yeah, motivation to train, especially if you love training, like if motivation's down, it's a really good indicator. What else? I feel like there's one more that I can add.
I don't want to let him get a reel out of this.
Yeah, don't.
After he's basically abandoned the podcast.
I've
You
not
did.
abandoned it.
You could have done it an hour later.
You should have seen me how fucking long it took me to walk back. I shit you not, right?
Why don't you slide back?
Yeah. You know what? I should have fucking levitated. Yeah. I should have just flown over.
That's what I would have done.
Oh, bruv, honestly, I swear to God, like I finished training, everywhere is like an ice rink. Like I'm gonna get a taxi to work tomorrow because honestly, I was literally walking like a robot. It took me so long to get back. And you know, have you walked up near town?
Yeah, I nearly died on the way to my haircut today.
Yeah, bruv, like the hill is ridiculous. Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I had to go the long way around. I had to go on like multiple different streets to get down because I knew I was going to slip and I was not risking getting injured on prep.
Yeah, innit? Well, think how I fucking feel. My knee was like, it feels weird when I wear tracksuits as well. I can feel it like on like pressing up against it, so it feels really strange. But yeah, no, not good.
He comes in here and just wants to speak about himself.
If anyone didn't know, Laurence is hurt.
Sorry, boys. I'll leave you to it.
If you didn't know, Laurence has dislocated his knee. He's not really spoke about it
No,
much.
I've never heard of it.
Oh, I'll be trying to be as
He's trying to look for a spoon now.
Right, Harrison, before we were rudely interrupted, you keep answering your question about how you
What do you say?
notice overtraining
Sleep
symptoms.
going downwards. Your recovery. I track like a perceived recovery score.
Yeah.
And I think
How recovered you feel?
But I think to be fair, that is quite a difficult thing to be in tune with.
I guess you can tell like what your mental fatigue is to a certain
definitely.
extent,
And
if
I
you can
think
focus throughout the day.
so. Like stress, energy level, your recovery,
Appetite. Is he distracting you?
Yeah, a little bit. She's just looking for
Where are
every.
the scales? Do you know?
Mate, can you get out?
It ruined the entire.
I'm really
podcast.
sorry about that, guys, but Laurence just came in and decided to make his meal while we're doing the podcast.
It
So
literally
we
took
had to
him
stop the podcast.
20 minutes to pour cereal.
We don't have his scales either, so he had to weigh himself in
He had zero.
on
he's
body
actually-
weight scales to
he's
weigh his
actually
Rice Krispies.
0 grams of Rice Krispies.
Yeah. Mate, shut up. I hate that guy so much. He's probably like
What the fuck is he even doing?
top 3 worst people ever. I'd say Hitler, number 1.
For fuck's sake.
Maybe Stalin, number 2. Yeah. And then I'm going Laurence Lifts, number 3. Where would you put him? Top 3?
To be fair, in that lineup, I'd probably put him second.
But above Stalin?
Yeah.
So the only person worse than Laurence in history is Hitler. It's a good shout. I can see the rationale behind it.
Yeah, I understand it.
But yeah, so sorry about that, guys, but you wouldn't have seen that whole kerfuffle
No, they were awful.
which Laurence basically made. So we'll carry on with the questions. I don't think Harrison even got to answer his question about recovery or overtraining or whatever it was.
I think I got energy levels, sleep,
Appetite,
recovery, appetite.
mental capacity. My mental capacity is always 0, so it doesn't make a difference for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's why I always deload him.
so we've got some BB questions here, and I don't actually follow bodybuilding, to be honest, to a great degree. I'll look at like the biggest shows, but that's pretty much.
To be fair, I probably would say I follow enhanced bodybuilding more than natural bodybuilding.
I'd probably say I follow natty bodybuilding more. I just don't like enhanced people.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I don't mind enhanced people, but I've had a lot of hate from enhanced people, so
Yeah,
I've got a vendetta against them.
Yeah.
So, Argan says, these are all from Argan, by the way. Argan's asked about 20 questions, but he's holding the podcast together.
Yeah.
Argan says, do you see Buendia doing well this year? Don't know.
Do you men's physique?
Jeremy Buendia. Jeremy Buendia is like the 4-time Mr. Olympia.
I don't watch men's physique.
You don't care about men's physique? No, just men's bikini to you?
Yeah, men's bikini.
Not interested?
No.
So, to be honest, mate, I have no idea. I think he's probably not got enough muscle to compete with the guys at the top of men's physique right now, like Aaron Banks and Brandon Hendrickson. But yeah, I'm not really too well versed in bodybuilding, to be honest. I do it and I enjoy doing it, but I'm not...
Open
I don't
bodybuilding.
really follow it.
And
You are a bit of an open bodybuilding fan, aren't you?
I love open bodybuilding.
Yeah, I watch the big shows. That's about it. I watch the Arnold and the Olympia, and that's it. I'm a real casual when it comes to BV. Yeah. He also asks, do you agree with Erin Banks now being the standard for men's physique? As in, like, his look? And I'd say, yeah. Like, he's got a very aesthetic look. He's got a very small waist, very wide shoulders.
He's big, but I think, obviously, men's physique having no cap.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make sure people don't just go fucking stupid. It's not just open bodybuilders in shorts.
I think it's pretty much, you can push to the point of size until it starts affecting your midsection.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it with men's physique.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is like, I don't mind it because before it was probably more like, if you had genetically good shape, you'll do well. And if you don't, you won't do well.
Because at a point where if you've got less muscle,
you do better.
You do men's physique.
Yeah. So that's why I'm doing men's physique.
That's it.
I've got no muscle.
Yeah.
This one's a really bad question. Argon, you shouldn't have asked this, but he says, who's the better coach, Cuba or Callum? So Cuba or Callum Raystrick. And that's a stupid question, mate. I've not been coached by either of them. I wouldn't want to say who's the better coach out of either of them because I don't know. And I wouldn't say even if I did know because that's disrespecting them. So that's it,
That's a good answer.
Yeah. So I don't know, mate. And I'm not really sure why you've asked that either, to be honest. This is a good one, actually. Jack, my mate from uni, asks, is your competition prep affecting your fantasy football performance? And the answer to this is yes, 100% it is.
Yes.
Because people will know this, I'm actually the GOAT of fantasy football. The last 2 seasons on fantasy football, last season I finished at 11k in the world. Out of 8 million, I finished at 11k. The season before that, I finished at 4k. I'm the GOAT at fantasy football.
I don't think I've done it in a few years, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
I was really into it while I was at uni, but since leaving uni, I've been way more busy, so I just haven't had the time to actually do research into it. Yeah. And also, I'm just not a neek. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just not a neek anymore.
That's fair enough.
So yeah, it definitely is affecting performance. I'm literally just going on the app on game day and making random changes, to be honest.
I made a team on, do you know the World Cup one?
Yeah.
And that were it.
I didn't even do that.
I joined Finn's League.
Did you?
Yeah, and then I was like second for a bit and then just default.
I was doing well in Finn's League at the start of this season, but I just dropped off a cliff. I think I'm like 20th.
You haven't been on it.
Yeah. So this is not a question, but Ismail says, not a question, but buzzing to get started with you. That's nice, isn't it?
That's a compliment. I like that.
So that's a new client who's messaged me that. So I'll plug coaching. Send me an application. Get signed up for online coaching. You will not regret it.
Exactly.
My clients get the best value possible. So
yeah, why are you not promoting your PT?
I don't care about PT at all.
No, well, we know that, yeah.
I could literally earn so much more money from PT, but it's not my passion. Online coaching is my passion. So
do you want some good questions?
Yeah, go on then. I've got 4 more. You ask yours now, and then
I've got 6 questions.
All right, let's go.
First one, quick fire. Argon, why do you have 0 posts?
Why do you have 0 posts? Why are you a ghost?
I am permanently in the shadows.
Yeah.
First post is going to be when I win teens.
When you win the British title, that's your first place.
Yeah. That's it. But to be fair, I don't really know. I think it takes away from my training, but I like to I just like to fucking switch on and train.
It does to an extent, because even when I'm like filming, I'll only film like a maximum of 1 session a week, because it does to an extent take away from your training. You're thinking about what to say in the video, you're thinking about how you can add value to the video. Yeah. You're not 100% locked into the session. So
no, I agree.
I do agree with that.
And I think shit like, I'm very like, if I see my Instagram, I want it to all look fucking perfect.
Like mine?
Yeah, exactly. I want it to look exactly like yours. No,
OCD?
It's kind of like, if I see a video and I'm like, oh shit, like that, my form were a bit off in that. Yeah. I'm not posting it. Or like, if I do it and I'm like, I don't know, I think it's just shit like, oh, like a fucking idiot. Like I'm like, obviously I know you post some faces when you're training, but I look like a fucking idiot.
Have you seen my face during my physique updates?
Yeah.
I'm so ugly in my physique updates.
But even like the set that I recorded with Leo over there, like, I know this is just a fucking normal thing, but my head looked like it was going to explode. And it felt like it was going to explode, and I'm like, I'm just like a fucking idiot, I'm not posting it. And I think shit like that, again, what we were talking about stress earlier, another reason I don't do it is because it stresses me out.
It is stressful.
The honest answer is, I overanalyze something. So like when I put this up, this is going to take a fucking lot for me to just like switch off, do you know what I mean, and leave it. But like when I post them on Instagram, I'm like, oh fuck, it needs to be perfect, and I'll watch it and be like, and drive myself mad.
I know what you mean.
And I think it's a fault, but I think it just takes away from. It does take away from training a little bit, but I need to start. I know I'm going to start doing it, and obviously,
if you need to eventually.
Yeah, because I know it's going to benefit my PT,
online
my coaching. I think obviously just in general to show people where I'm at.
Yeah, show them your knowledge, because you've literally got. I'm not going to suck you off too much here, but for your age, I've not really seen many people who have that much knowledge at 18. I definitely didn't know that.
I think that's the thing. I think that's a lot of the time. I think I'd rather spend that time learning. So that's another reason I invested in fucking J3U and shit like that. I think if I've got the opportunity to be able to invest in something like that early on.
I'm actually bringing out R4U.
Yeah, I might get on that.
Ryan University. It's going to be way better.
Yeah. Who are you going to have on that? Me. I'm going to sign up. Argon.
Yeah. We'll have a few members.
Yeah.
Laurence won't sign up. Laurence
won't. He's got more knowledge.
He doesn't even watch my check-in responses until 4 days later.
Yeah, and he's like, then you see him just fucking slamming
eating the pizza.
Yeah,
I'm like, mate,
I pulled that out. He's still training.
I dropped 100 carbs. Why are you still having 800 carbs a day? He's like, I've not watched the check-in, so I don't need to do the changes.
It's because it's not in his routine.
Yeah,
that's it.
But I think we keep slandering him. Hopefully, he can't hear us.
Yeah, that's it.
Fuck him. Anyway.
What was I saying?
You were saying about.
Oh yeah, like J3U and stuff like that. I think that were one of the things that I thought, well, I've got the time to do it. Why would I not try and do it? Because especially in places like things like PT and online coaching, there's so many people in it. What's going to separate you from other people?
That's the thing. That's what I say to a lot of people in my application responses. What separates me as a coach to other people,
and what you're going to offer differently from someone else.
It's such a saturated market. To make yourself stand out, you need to offer something different. And that for me is the passion. Firstly, I don't see many people with more passion than me.
No.
And then the knowledge. Secondly, and then the hard work as well. I don't see anyone doing 20 to 30 minute check-ins every week for their clients.
No.
It's always 2 to 5 minutes, which just isn't as much as they need, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think if you were really enjoying the coaching side of it, you wouldn't get it to a point where your individual quality drops.
Yeah. For me, when it does get to a point where if I add more clients,
because it will,
the quality has to go down.
It will get there.
There's obviously ways I can be more efficient. It takes me to be honest, the maximum amount of check-ins I do in a day is 5, which is a bit bad because I probably could do more in a day if I was more efficient.
You could, but you're not going to get the quality.
Each check-in takes about an hour, to be honest.
Yeah,
it's about watching their video back. All my clients send really detailed voice notes, about 10 minutes at least, making notes on that, then making notes on their sheets, looking at the progress pictures, and then a 20 to 30 minute video.
But that's because you've set it up that way.
Yeah.
So it lets you do your job the best you can.
Yeah, to be fair, I think that's fine. They're doing, say, 5 check-ins a day, and then working 6 days a week. I don't see myself going over 40 clients. I think I could be more efficient. I could probably get to 40.
I think you could.
Then after that, I'm just going to up my price. That's all it is.
Yeah, it's people like Christian. I know he's gone on his own now. He's not part of Physique Collective.
Is he?
Anymore. Yeah. He's gone back to coach by Christian, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it the other day. Things like him, he's got 100 plus clients.
Yeah, but I think then he's also...
But his quality's still, apparently it's still good. But I think at that point, it's got to drop on it. It can't be as good as when he had 50 clients.
But at that point, why wouldn't you just up your price to a point where you're basically matching the demand, and you could up your price to £500 a month?
I think
you're still gonna have a good amount of clients.
But to be fair, at the minute, I think he's only taking on obviously picking and choosing who he wants to take on, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
When you're at that point, I think you should.
I think when you get to that point as well, when you have the chance to make more money, it's quite a hard thing to say no to that, because obviously money is important, and supporting your family, if you do have one, is important. So it depends on what you prioritise.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think, to be honest, I will get to the point where I start fucking hell.
Go on, you got it.
Prioritising coaching over my bodybuilding goals. I will do that, because I don't see myself going super far in bodybuilding, and therefore, and I do see myself going pretty far in coaching, because I know that's where my, let's say, fucking hell, I'm fatigued as fuck, man.
Go on.
I don't even know what
You're
the word
on 550 grams of carbs. It's easy.
525, man.
You've had that.
That's where my speciality lies.
Yeah. That gaming supplement. That gaming supplement's just pulled you back through it.
It's just completely gone out my system now, and now the focus is all gone.
It's gone, yeah.
But yeah, that's where I feel like my speciality lies, and that's where I think I can go further. Yeah. So in the end, I will prioritise that over bodybuilding. So if that means I get less sleep a day, because I want to put a better service to more clients, then that's what I'll do.
But I think as
but
well,
for someone like Laurence, he's probably not going to do that because he has way more potential in bodybuilding, and therefore that's probably what he's going to specialise.
But I think naturally it's going to turn better for you as a coach, because obviously you're going to shut it down after this season for a few years.
Probably 2 years at least.
You've got a lot of time to put into your coaching. Yeah. And I'm not saying an off season is not difficult, but it's not as difficult as a prep. You've got a lot more time to focus on things, and that is.
You can be a bit more balanced.
I wouldn't. Again, I know a lot of people have spoke about this, but making a big decision, or like a big change in your prep is more difficult than in your off season, like you especially.
Yeah.
Obviously, moving, like new job, all that shit. I think as well, like we talked about earlier, stress. The way you manage that allows you to be able to do that in your prep, because when everything's not functioning the best, do you know what I mean?
Fucking hell, imagine if I didn't have good stress management.
Yeah, you'd be fucked.
This week's been fine. I've had multiple application responses to do. Obviously, my normal check-ins.
Yeah.
I've moved house. I've
change your shifts.
I've covered at work.
Yeah.
So, if my stress management was in a good place, I'd be fucked this week. I might have cheated on my diet. I might have not meal prepped or stayed on plan for my diet.
You did have a Cali Cruise burger.
I didn't have a Cali Cruise burger. Don't put that out there. People are going to think I'm not adherent.
Yeah.
I literally meal prepped every day this week, and I have done for the whole of prep, mate.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Adherent.
Yeah. No, that's Laurence.
That's definitely not Laurence.
That is.
Laurence is Mr. Inadherent. Mr. Inadherent, but still gets a 240 pounds.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I literally wish I was him.
But yeah, we were touching on as well, separating yourself from other people. I think as a PT, it's obviously a lot different to coaching, but I don't think a lot of PTs offer actual physique development.
I'm not going to lie, PTs are shit.
No. I think
getting a PT, unless they're a good PT and they know what they're doing, even if they are a good PT, you can only do a certain amount in 1 hour.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm a PT. I want PT clients.
Outside of that hour, you have no control.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing of. I know they said as a PT you can't obviously nutrition advice and shit like that. Yeah. You can only advise. I think if you feel confident enough, or have got the knowledge to be able to help someone nutrition wise, why wouldn't you? I would hate to see me PT someone in a gym and make no progress because they're going home.
Yeah, it looks bad on you as well.
It does.
If you PT someone, they're not making progress.
If they go home, eat shit, or they're wanting to be I want to be leaner, people think, PT can do that. They can't. Because if you go home, if you turn the fucking treadmill on the fat loss setting and go home and have a fucking kebab, you're not losing fat.
Have you got sheets for your PT clients?
No.
Should do that. I've done that for mine.
Well, no, I haven't set any up yet, obviously, because I haven't started yet. But I probably will use my online coaching. Things for even when I do my training plans, I sell a lot. To be fair, training plans, I've sold a fair few. Yeah. Just from being in the gym. And obviously when you put effort into one training plan, someone's going to see it and it's going to have a knock-on effect onto you.
Word of mouth.
Exactly, that's what I mean. That's why I always spend a lot of time. I know it's only, 30 quid? I'm not sure I understand. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, mate.
I fucking ruined the podcast now. Siri's ruined the fucking podcast.
This is the worst podcast ever. That's not really, mate.
But yeah.
Way better than with Laurence.
Yeah, exactly. But I think shit like that, putting effort into something as little as a training plan, I think that's just going to have a carryover. People are going to see it and be it's good. And actually spending time, even that lad that I made that training plan for, I came in on Sunday and he was there and I spoke him through everything. Yeah. Went through every exercise, made sure we were doing everything right.
You watched the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you watched the first episode.
Aaron.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually caught up with it or keeps up with it.
Yeah. I'll tell him to watch this one. He'll get on it. But yeah, I went in on Sunday and he's 16 and he trains hard. Yeah. He put on his application, don't put Bulgarian split squats in. And I know the reason he wanted to do it is because he didn't want me to put it in because it's fucking hard. Yeah. I don't know where this thing is that people say, this fucking hardest exercise is a Bulgarian split squat. It's not. I don't feel like it's hard. I feel like it's just fucking...
What do you reckon the hardest exercise is? A hip hinge?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Or a leg press set?
A leg press set is quite difficult.
Yeah, towards the end.
It just take a lot out of you.
It's so hard to take that to failure.
But I think if you're approaching your sets the same, I don't think it's going to be much different. Yeah. Between a set of that and a set of something else.
I never thought Bulgarian split squats. I think...
No, that's what I think. So it's
like leg extension. It's a lactic acid.
Yeah, so because he's fairly new to training, I want to be able to... I've probably gone too far with his training plan, but I wanted to make sure he knew how to train hard.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to realise where he can actually take it. So I put him a fucking big drop set on Bulgarian split squats.
Killed him off. Giant set.
Yeah, no,
Bulgarian split squats.
I don't know if you've watched John Meadows, he did a Bulgarian split squat drop set of death.
Into body weight?
Yeah, so it's 8 reps, 8-second hold, 8 reps, 8-second hold, 8 reps, 8-second hold, and then failure.
I'm going to add that in next week.
Yeah, I think you should, yeah. You're going to recover so well from it.
Yeah, I've got more food in me now.
But he did it, and he took it to the fucking point, and I'm like, there's not many, even John was saying.
If you can learn to do that.
I'm speaking about John Meadows, like, you were my friend.
He was?
Yeah, he was. My best mate, yeah. But he said that not many people, he's not seen many people that can mentally go through it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that's a good test. I think testing people, when you start working with them, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah, definitely.
Especially, I think, I don't see many people doing it, and you know, obviously, your priming phase. I think it's good to be able to see where someone can actually take the training, because everyone trains differently.
I think the same goes with dieting as well. If you haven't ever done like a really aggressive diet, so for me, I did a really aggressive diet in summer when my life was falling apart. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to try and lose 4 pounds a week for some reason. But I did that diet, and by doing that, then every other diet after that feels a bit easier. Yeah. So if you like, I think it's often like in the pre-prep phase where you're going to be very, very, very aggressive, because in the pre-prep phase, you're going to be very fat, and therefore you can lose muscle at a much quicker rate. And that is going to basically mean you're on very low food, which is challenging to a certain extent, which is good going forward. Putting yourself through that challenge.
It is, but I think as well, the mental side of it is a lot. Yeah. Is the majority of it.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Go on. Is it a bad one?
No, it's not. Any good up and coming natural bodybuilders you've seen? I think this could be a good one, but I think
Ryan Jackson, he's pretty good.
Ryan Jackson,
he's going to do well in men's physique this year.
British
I say
finals.
that, and then he's going to come third out of 3.
Yeah. I'm not. We don't need to give Laurence any. No, we'll not.
Nah, Laurence is mid.
Yeah,
he's got muscle, but he's just got awful shape, man. Yeah. He's got like a 40-inch waist.
I think he's 50.
50?
Yeah, I saw him. He was trying to put a belt on the other day. No.
You know the lifting belts?
Yeah.
He's got an extra large, and he's on the very last pin.
Yeah. He borrowed one from Ultraflex and it didn't fit.
Yeah.
I saw him trying to walk around the gym with it.
He actually wears a waist trainer every single day to try and make it shrink.
Yeah, it's not working. He does vacuum as well as soon as he wakes up.
Yeah, he just vacuums that day.
Where do you stand on that? What do you think about vacuums?
I think they're good.
I do. I still do them every day.
Not because they're going to shrink your waist, but because they're going to teach you how to control your midsection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any good up and coming natural bodybuilders?
I think
I don't know any.
I do a few teens. I think
Josh is really good.
Josh is fucking good.
If Josh teen this year.
Yeah, 19, I think.
Yeah, Josh is, what's his last name? Campbell.
Josh Campbell, yeah.
Josh Campbell is really good. Like,
he's got a fucking good physique.
He's like, the shape is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's mad. His fucking tricep is just mad. What the fuck is that?
If Josh comes back, I think Josh will challenge for the British title this year.
Yeah, definitely.
If he comes back as a junior with like 10 to 15 pounds more muscle, he's going to be pretty much impossible to beat
when I see someone like that, I compare everyone to the people who won teens last year.
Yeah.
So if I'm comparing him to Josh Bogdani, I don't know how lean Josh is going to get. Josh Campbell, I don't know how lean he's going to get.
He's already very lean now.
He's fucking shredded, and it's like...
Yeah, and he's like...
I don't see him being...
How far do you reckon Josh Campbell is off stage weight right now?
10?
No, not for bodybuilding. But mentally, he could be ready in 10 pounds, but not for bodybuilding.
10, 15?
I reckon he's 20 pounds off.
I think he looks leaner than that.
But the thing is, the reason why he can be so light and look so good is because his shape is so good.
His shape's fucking fantastic.
When your shape's really good, you're going to be a lot lighter than other people.
Yeah.
Because your muscle bellies are so good, and therefore you're going to weigh less.
What the fuck's so nice?
But I have no idea. But yeah, Josh Campbell's very good. So he's a teen.
To be fair, and then I compare him to people like Conran and Josh.
The teens last year were really good.
Yeah, they're good. But I think that last year, there were only like 3 good teams.
I'm not going to comment.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like putting people down.
No, I don't think that. But I mean, like 3 challenging teams. There were 3 top.
The three top teams were really good.
Jack
was
fucking
massive.
mad. Conran, Josh.
Yeah.
I think everyone else, we still look good, but I don't think anyone challenged any of them 3. I think them 3 were above everyone else.
I think Josh Campbell.
Yeah, I think he definitely challenged them 3. Actually, someone I'm going to add, Dan Jones. Do you know who he is? He competed. This guy is fucking winding me up.
Ruining the podcast.
He said he couldn't do it, and he's just fucking pissing about. Yeah, Dan Jones. He's coached by Dan Watson. I think he's 16 or 17. He did teens last year.
Yeah.
He looked fucking insane. He literally looks fucking wild. And he's like 17 or 16, 17.
Really?
Yeah, I'll show you him after this. But honestly, he looks fucking amazing. I've spoken to him for.
Should we go from each class and see? And I'll try and pick some people that I think are
But again,
really
Harley.
well.
As a teen, he looks fucking mint.
So teens this year, you've got Josh Campbell, Harley. What's Harley's last name? Harley's competing in the MVW Classic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harley's really
question.
good. There's another teen who's really good, but I think there's a guy coached by AJ, I think. Or I've seen him on MVW, and he's really good as well.
Yeah, I know. You told me about that guy. Yeah. Honestly, Dan
I'm
Jones.
not gonna lie, Laurence is really good. Like Laurence is going to do very well in junior men's physique. There's a guy called Hugh Thompson. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah, he's fucking waste.
He's got ridiculous shape. I'm looking.
Did he
forward
compete last year?
He competed in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him against Laurence.
Yeah.
Because they've got very different physiques in a certain sense. Like Hugh's got really, really small waist.
Yeah.
But Laurence has probably got a little bit more muscle. So it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up against each other when they're on stage. But
Definitely.
That should be exciting. Laurence, obviously, junior men's physique would be really good. In terms of junior bodybuilding, do you know anyone doing junior bodybuilding this year?
To be fair, I don't even follow junior. I literally, the majority of natural bodybuilding I look at is teens, just because that's what I'm going to be doing. But same probably with you. You probably look at juniors a lot. So that's what you're going to be doing.
I think it's hard to know who's going to be competing in natural bodybuilding because they're not really as publicised as enhanced bodybuilding. So I don't really know anyone else, to be honest. But I will be going to pretty much every show this year, I think.
Yeah, we're going to try and show you what this Dan
Jones
looks
quite a few
like.
of them.
But he looks like, I think Dan Harley looks good. Josh obviously looks really good. I'm not sure about any other teams competing this year. But yeah, I think Dan. I don't know if Dan's competing this year. I think he's probably going to do next year. Yeah, same year as me, and he looks fucking mint.
Do you reckon he'll beat you?
No, I don't know yet. We'll have to see how much
muscle you can put on.
See if I've built any muscle at the end of this year. Unless I've just built fat. And I've just built fat.
I don't think of anyone else.
That's all I've got. Dan.
Is there anyone who goes to Ultraflex who's competing this year?
You, Laurence.
Finn's competing in junior. Junior.
I think Finn
Finn's
will
competing in medium.
Finn will do well.
I think Finn's got a chance of winning the British title.
Do you think AJ's competing? Is AJ competing this year?
No, he's competing next year.
Next year.
But I think Finn's probably got a chance of winning.
Yeah, Finn looks fucking sick.
Finn undersells how good he is. I think he.
Definitely.
I think he doesn't know how good he is.
Definitely.
Maybe his legs are a little bit behind, but his upper body is unmatched. I don't know anyone with a better front than him, better arms than him.
Yeah, his fucking biceps are mad.
They are ridiculous. His arms on a whole are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
His chest as well. Yeah. Pretty crazy. But yeah, I think Finn will do really well this year.
Yep.
And I'm not really quite sure on anyone else who's competing, to be honest. But should be exciting going to all of those shows. You're going to go to most of them, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to try and go to MBW.
Yeah. Support Harley.
See Big Harley.
Just going to leave before men's physique.
No, he's coming. Yeah, I'm just going to. I don't care about men's physique.
Men's physique. I'm going to be on stage at like 10
I just want to see teens. Really, I think I just want to have a gauge of what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
But again, I can't really compare myself.
I'm going to watch the whole show.
Yeah, I definitely am going to stay for the entire thing.
I'm just going to there eat my cream of rice.
Only bodybuilding shows I've been to. I've been to Arnold twice.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the only people I've seen on stage.
Do you reckon you beat those guys?
Yeah. Definitely beat Samson. The first.
Oh, you'd smoke Samson.
The first year that I saw Samson, I cried at his posing routine.
Yeah.
It was the year John Meadows died. You know my mate John Meadows. Yeah. The year he died, and his posing routine, he had John Meadows in the background, like him talking. I mean, honestly, I went. There were that many people in the crowd just crying. It was just like.
Pussies.
Yeah, honestly, we were emotional. And then Nathan Diasha came out to King of the North and just ruined it.
Then he won.
Yeah, then he won. Yeah. You fucking shit on Samson.
How many more you got?
I've probably got 2 more good ones.
Sound.
Opinion on your mate put this one.
Harrison Farland.
Yeah.
My mate.
Opinion on old school bodybuilding training style versus past few years training style. And to be fair, I think that there's a place for both. Optimal. I think the style that both me and you are kind of using at the minute, I don't really know what to call it.
I'd call it the small natty style.
Yeah, the MBW style.
Yeah. MBW kid, 150 pounds.
You actually are 150 pounds.
I am now. Yeah. But I am also like 5 pounds off stage condition. So.
Yeah. No, you're definitely 20 pounds off.
12 pounds for.
I think you'll be competing at 130.
130.
Yeah.
I've got another 22 pounds to pull off.
Yeah, definitely.
You reckon? Yeah, pretty fair.
I think enjoyment wise, I think I get a lot of enjoyment out of the MBW, the small natty style.
All natty style, yeah.
I really enjoy that style of training, but again, like I said earlier, the old gym I used to train at, it was very old school. And the first year of training, I've only probably been training, a year and a half, 2 years. But the first full year were old school style training.
You've been training 2 years and you're 194 pounds?
Yeah, I'm fat.
And I've been training 7 years and I'm 150 pounds.
I'm fat.
That's embarrassing for me.
Fat.
That's really embarrassing for me.
It's not.
It is. It's embarrassing.
It's not because we're posed and I'm just fucking fat. So you can't see. I literally have lost the majority of the.
No, but when you go into a show, they weigh you, and if you're not a certain weight, they'll go, "You're too light.
Yeah,
you're disqualified.
Yeah, that's it.
You're basically too small and too natty, so you're disqualified, mate."
That's it.
That's what's happened to me at the MBW Classic.
You're gonna prep for this long.
Yeah, he's got good shape.
But
he's too light. He's way too light.
When you step on stage, someone like Laurence and he's 40 pounds heavier.
Because Laurence is 108 on stage, they'll give him the win.
Yeah.
Because weight really does matter, to be fair.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoy training like that. But I think, like even people like when I was talking about Harley earlier, he trains old school style, and he turned his nose up at me ordering a daisy chain and a resistance band. But I think there's a place for that. I think it's just enjoyment reasons. I really enjoy training that way, but I think that's because I didn't know about this method of training.
I think there's a pretty easy answer for this. It's just whatever type of training you enjoy the most is the one that you're going to see the most progress with.
I agree.
And therefore that's what you should be using. It's as simple as that. For me, the reason why I don't enjoy the old school style is because I don't see much progress with it. When I do it, I don't progress very much, and therefore it's not enjoyable. Yeah. But when I use the small natty MBW style, we can't say that because I actually love MBW, to be fair. But when I use the more science-based style, I make a lot more progress, and therefore it's more enjoyable for me.
Science-based training. Should we call it that instead of the small natty training?
Yeah. So for me, it's way more enjoyable doing that science-based style of training because I progress and because I can see development in my physique by going into the minutiae. And using a lot more detail within my training and using a lot more science-based approaches. It's because it makes me progress more, and therefore I'm going to enjoy it more. Simple as that.
But there has been times, even during this off-season, where I'm like, I'm putting my fucking logbook away and I'm just going to go in and rag away.
Yeah, last off-season I was like, I'm adding in the barbell bench. Sorry, guys.
What is he doing?
He somehow set the fire alarm off by having a shower. Sorry, guys.
This fucking guy.
Honestly, I hate this, guys. I'm going to ruin his prep.
He's going to fuck your peak.
Because of this, because he's completely ruined this podcast, I'm going to completely ruin his prep on purpose.
Says this, and you go, what the fuck?
I'm going to completely ruin your ass.
What is this guy doing? He should step in frame. Oh, they could have seen. You see the reflection?
No, they can't see. They can't see Arnold.
Oh, that'd be good. No, I mean the reflection of Laurence.
Oh, right. They probably could have.
With his clothes off.
Yeah, they probably can.
You can see Laurence's ass.
Okay, so long-term bodybuilding goals for each of us. You want to win the Olympia?
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna win it. What did we say? What year did we say? 2032.
No, 2050.
2050.
Masters Olympia.
How old? Yeah. Nah, shit. There's some good.
You wouldn't even be a Masters in 2050, would you?
What's that? 30.
Oh no, you would be. Masters is 40, isn't it?
What year are we?
We're in the year 2023, mate. How old would you be in 2050? You'd be like 45.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. You're born in 2005, aren't you?
No, 2004.
So you'd be 46.
Yeah, I'd be 46.
So you would be Masters.
So I would, yeah.
But we have quite different goals in terms of bodybuilding. So for me, I don't see myself having the genetic potential to go extremely far in bodybuilding, and therefore my goals are probably a little bit smaller. I just want to basically maximise my potential and do as well as I can in natural bodybuilding. And if that means one day I might win a British title in something, then that would be it. But I'll keep aiming for the best that I can do in a certain season. So for this year, me saying that I'm going to win a British title is not very realistic. So my goals for this year are just to enjoy the process, create my best look, basically, and do as well as I possibly can, and try and maximise my prep to the greatest degree while coaching myself. So yeah, that's pretty much my view on things in terms of long-term goals. For you?
I think I don't really want to set much expectation on anything before I've competed.
Yeah.
I think I want to be able to compete first, because that is going to be the main factor of where my goals are.
Yeah.
I think depending on whether I'm enjoying, I'm honest with myself, as in the, like, that I will be able to be honest with myself and think, oh, am I going to be able to take this any further?
Yeah, you'll know from next year.
Definitely. And I think that I'm not blind enough to not be able to see the potential. And if any, I want to be able to just be able to do a show first and then make a decision from there.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think I've only just got this from the training, the diet, obviously watching enhanced bodybuilding. But I think it's just the fact of, for me, watching that side of it and the food and the training, I don't want to set any limitations on where I could be.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, but I don't also want to set any expectations.
Yeah. So for you, if it goes to plan, would be enhanced in the long term.
Long term.
Yeah.
Depending on how I enjoy competing.
I'm not a bad person, so I'm going to stay natty.
Yeah, exactly. That's
but
it.
That's your choice.
Yeah,
mate.
But then I'll be dead by 40.
Yeah, true.
So you will have got me on that point.
I'll be competing in like ultra masters when I'm 80.
Yeah. Now, honestly, they do the grandmasters when they do the natural UK DFBA. There's a guy at iMotion.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh yeah, I've seen him.
Yeah. He did UK DFBA, one of the. I don't know what class it were, but I think he like
Grandmasters
plus 50.
This one is a good one.
Go on.
How to use prime machines, and I've got an interesting take on this because I think there's two ways of looking at it.
Load all pins.
Load every single pin.
Load all three.
That's the best way of doing it.
Yeah, that's the
because it makes the profile really good across the whole range.
Yeah, you get so much out of it.
You get a really good contraction throughout the whole range. It's so good. Yeah. So yeah, just load every single pin. Yeah, that's the best way of doing it.
What about on a pin loaded one where the twistable cam?
Basically, what you do, so you do the first rep on pin 1, switch it, pin 2, switch it, pin 3. That's pretty much how I do it on the pin loader one.
Yeah. Should we give a serious
realistic answer? I think there's two ways of looking at things, and I think I have quite a opinionated approach on this because, in my opinion, when using a prime machine or any movement, you should always be trying to basically match the strength profile to the resistance profile at all times. Basically trying to make those as congruent as possible throughout every single movement, and therefore you're really getting as much stimulus out of every single set as possible because you're taxing the muscle across its full contractile range. If you're, say, loading a machine on pin 2 and you're not getting much out of the length and range, then I think it's a bit of redundancy in terms of your training because you're going to have to do loads of different movements to basically tax the muscle across its full range rather than just getting more out of one set. So for example, with me, I don't really see any time I would use pin 2 on a prime machine. No. Because I don't see any movements. Maybe a press, maybe, but even then I don't think pin 2 is that effective because you'll always fail in that mid to shorten range. Yeah. I think pin 1 is still going to be more effective due to the amount of fatigue you accumulate throughout a set. But there's also a different way of looking at it. So obviously someone who I look up to a lot, AJ, he actually sees that, like for a hack squat, he sees that as a lengthened range movement.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I asked him about it. So in my point of view, I think you should be trying to make the hack squat as optimal as possible by making the resistance profile as close to the strength profile as possible. So basically reverse banding it. Mm-hmm. That's the way I see things. I think you can get more out of the set by doing that because you're taxing the full contractile range and therefore failing really accurately. But the way AJ sees it is that that's a lengthened range movement and therefore reverse banding it takes out the lengthened range. Yeah. But it's different approaches and I see the rationale behind both.
Yeah, I think I overthought it at first. Obviously coming from a gym where they didn't have any prime to this, I think I overthought it at first. And I think the best approach that I've had towards it is trying it. I think, especially with things like, so for a leg extension, Leo loads it at 3 or 5. Well, he loads it at 5 now, but he did load it at 3 before.
Because I'm his coach and I'm the GOAT.
No, but that before that.
Doesn't matter.
Right. So Leo's the GOAT coach as well. But at one point, I tried it at 4 and I ran it at 4 for a long time.
Yeah, because you were running it at 4 when we first trained together.
Yeah, because I approached it in the same way as AJ.
Yeah, looking at it as a shorter range movement.
Yeah, I want to be able to tax the short, and then with things like a hack squat or like a leg press variant, that's going to take the most out of the length and the range. And I think same with like a hamstring movement. I look at it the exact same. Yeah. Like I used the lying ham for a bit, and I loaded that in 5.
Do you think you get more out of the shortened range by taking out of the lengthened range though? Do you know what I mean? So with like a banded leg extension, obviously it's going to be heavier in the short, but are you getting any more out of that range? Because you're going to fail there anyway because that's the limiting factor.
So that's what I was going to say. So like on the leg extension, for example, I tried it at 5.
Yeah.
I've now transitioned into using it at 5.
Because you're still going to fail in the short.
And I got a lot out of it in the short at 5.
But also getting more at the length and range.
And even things like, I also think, try it. So like, I was using the prime seated row on a 2-to-1.
Yeah.
Lengthened to mid. And I got a lot out of it in the short and in the lengthened. But now I'm running it all mid.
Yeah, that's what Laurence does.
And I can get a lot out of it, both. And so I do my first set fully mid. And then I do my second set 2 lengthened, 1 mid. And because I think I wouldn't be afraid to try it. I think in any sort of movement, you want to be getting the most out of all ranges.
A lot of the time, it's just what feels the best.
That's what I mean. So don't overthink it. Try them. So like, I tried 4, ran 4 for a bit because it felt good. 4 got rinsed. I'm sat at 5 now.
And also to not overcomplicate it, the way you know you're matching the strength profile with the resistance profile is if the last rep is really slow. Yeah. If that's really slow across the full contractile range, you're therefore failing across the full range, and therefore you've matched the profiles really well. Yeah. So that you don't even really need to overthink it. If that last rep is really slow and you're training to failure, then you've done well.
But even not even on prime machines, just machines in general, I think people overcomplicate. Like, for example, the hammer strength incline.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's like, it's so hard in the short, which it is.
Yeah.
But I've been running that second, and I've still been able to progress that.
Yeah.
I think people think, all I'm getting out of that is short.
But if it feels good at that point of the session, then...
It feels good second, and I can get a lot out of it.
What did you do before that?
Well, I did the fucking...
Flat dumbbell press?
The joint press.
Yeah, I guess that's why then, because you're doing the lengthen first, so you're not really
but I feel like I could still get a lot out of the hammer strength press like that.
Yeah.
And I think especially things like... So like I've used the prime seated lateral.
Oh, I hate that.
I love that machine.
Really?
I literally get so much out of that machine.
What do you do that on?
5.
Yeah, 5.
I do one set 5, 2 sets 3.
Yeah, that's what I used to do as well.
And it feels so good. But at one point, I'll run it all sets at 5, 2 sets at 5, 1 set at 3.
Actually, something to touch on here is because the movement feels good in terms of contraction, that doesn't mean you're getting the most out of it.
No.
So, for example, on the lateral raise, if you put it on pin 2, you get a really good contraction because it's heaviest at the top. But that doesn't mean you're getting more out of it.
Definitely not.
Do you know what I mean?
Because then when you're down here, there's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's the answer to that one.
Yep.
You got any more?
I think I've got one more.
Go on.
Sausage.
Big wheel out there.
5v5 all-out brawl. Is Laurence in your starting 5?
Against who?
That's the thing. That's all I've got.
5v5.
5v5 all-out brawl. Is Laurence in your starting 5?
Injured or not injured?
In his current state, I think.
In his current state, no chance.
In his peak, is he in your current 5?
In his peak, 100%. He can just grab you. 240 pounds.
He's like a pecker on the Clash of Clans. That is Laurence.
I've got no idea what that is.
Mate, you were playing Clash of Clans the other day. Don't even lie to me.
A pecker?
The pecker, the big fucking like blue and purple thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Laurence. That's literally Laurence.
Yeah.
That is him.
I thought.
I don't know why I brought him.
When he said pecker, I just immediately thought like of a chicken.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, Laurence is a chicken. Yeah.
He is a bit to be fair. But yeah, in an all-out brawl.
It depends who it's against.
If Laurence isn't injured, I'm 100% having him in there. I'm not having me in there. I wouldn't win a fight against anyone.
No, neither would I.
I'm just too small as a person. I reckon I'll be good in boxing because of my reach, and because I'll be fighting people way lighter than me. Yeah, not way lighter than me, way smaller than me in terms of height. But yeah, in a brawl, I've got no chance. I'm not putting myself in there.
I think I'd put Laurence in a brawl just because he's big.
I'm putting Laurence in there. I'm putting HL in there.
Oh, HL's huge.
Yeah, he's 6'6".
I just want them in front of me.
6'6", 6'5". Put him up top.
I'm not putting Leo in there.
No chance of putting Leo in there.
Leo's not in there. He's too pretty.
Way too pretty. Me and Leo got offered a modelling job.
Really?
Yeah.
What for?
But by getting offered a modelling job, I mean
Socks.
that HL's girlfriend needs some models. And I was like, I'll do it. Because I'm like kind of lame.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll do it.
You've had a trim?
Yeah. I've had a trim. I was feeling myself.
Yeah.
I had a trim. I got this message like...
Yeah, you set the Calvin Klein...
Yeah. I'm in my Calvin now as well.
Yeah. Thanks.
So HL's girlfriend was like, do you need some models? And I was like, just had a trim. Yeah. Kind of feeling myself. I'll do it in my boxers. And Leo was like, I'm not doing it. So I'm not doing it on my own.
Yeah. No, I think you need to. Get Laurence to do it.
It'd be good though. Imagine my shredded legs in like a boxers modelling.
Yeah.
Tiny cock though, so that wouldn't be great.
No. Mate, the men's physique shop.
Imagine Laurence doing it with his fat legs. Not a single line in his legs. His knee out of place.
Yeah. He'd be such a good model.
Lawrence.
Yeah.
With his smile.
He stood into the fucking pose.
Yeah. The most aesthetic bodybuilder in Ohio.
Yeah.
That's Laurence.
Yeah, that is literally Laurence.
The most classic bodybuilder in Ohio. He's just got such good flow when he poses.
He's going to be classic. He's going to be classic Mr. Olympia.
Oh, 100%.
He doesn't flood through his shots at all.
Like, his posing's just so beautiful.
He's got better transitions than Will Bertolini.
Way better. Yeah. Laurence might be the worst poser I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Fuck him.
Yeah, definitely.
Again, fuck him.
He has ruined this podcast, to be fair.
Completely.
I knew he would get involved. He's literally home. He could have been involved.
He could have been involved. We've literally probably done an hour while he's been home. So,
yeah, but I think that's all my
please send some hate Lawrence's way.
Yeah.
I think it would be really useful for him to know not to ever miss the podcast again. So
definitely.
send him, say whatever you want about him, to be honest. I don't care. Literally just send him slander, send him hate.
Yep.
He'll deal with it, but that will teach him to never miss the podcast again, especially not on an anniversary episode, like the 10th episode.
Time to sort his routine out.
Yeah, he needs to get his routine sorted, mate. So final 2 questions from Amateur Genetics, the GOAT. You know about Amateur Genetics, right?
No. I heard you mention him on his podcast.
He
said he doesn't have amateur genetics.
No, he doesn't. He's got good genetics. Or he's worked very hard for his physique. Either way, he's got a very good physique. So he says, what is your plan for peaking? So my peaking strategy, we were discussing this in the car earlier. So my peaking strategy, personally, I don't think you should be overcomplicating things at all when it comes to peaking. Yep. I think the most safe way of doing things, where you're going to get the best results, is always going to be a progressive linear load. So starting your carbs, kind of underestimating where you want them to be to make sure that you're not overspilling, and then on a daily basis working them up slowly while looking at your physique and while analysing the scale weight and working that up slowly throughout the week, and then finding the look that you're happy with. Once you find that look, then up the fats a little bit and then try and hold that look throughout the rest of the week until show day. Yep. I don't see the point in doing a fat load. I don't really like front loads. I don't really like back loads, water cuts, all of these things. In my opinion, are just way too risky. I
think they're a bit unpredictable as well. I think with the linear load, especially when, I think more important than any of that is to be in a good position.
Oh yeah, 100%. You need to be ready before.
Like you're in a good position to be able to not test these things, but to be able to know where you're going to respond.
Get more information on them.
Yeah, and I think especially if someone's first prep, I think a good place to stand is just by keeping it simple.
Being ready early.
Yeah. Coming in lean, doing a simple approach to it. It's not even that you have to be filling up through the entire week. I think a lot of people are going to hold food differently. And I think it could be a good idea to be able to estimate what weight you might go on stage at. So I think it's a good idea for you think, oh, this is a good weight for me.
Yeah.
If you could try it out in the couple of weeks leading up to it, you can wake up and be like, oh, this is a good look.
I think what I'm going to do is a progressive linear load throughout the week. Yep. And then having one day before my show on like baseline food. Yep. But on that day, I'm not going to move at all, basically. Yep. So I'll keep the fullness, but then my digestive system, all the food goes through, and therefore my midsection's tight, but I'm still full. That's my approach.
Where do you stand on training leading up to your show? Have you got to
just do volume sessions and then pump sessions a couple of days before? Pretty much just minimise fatigue, drop off a bit more water. Yep. In terms of water as well, I think this is important to note. Doing a water cut when you're lean it makes no sense. When you're natty, it makes no sense at all. Obviously, if you're enhanced, you're going to hold a little bit more water due to the enhancement that you're using. But as a natty, where are you going to be holding the water when you're lean? Not extracellularly. You're going to be holding it in the muscle. The water is just going to make you look better. That's all it is. As long as you're drinking enough water to hydrate the muscles and not drinking too much water where you're blowing out your midsection, you need to be staying hydrated. Do not do a water cut if you're natty. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Or sodium. I'd keep it consistent.
Yeah, I'll even say sodium needs to go up a little bit as you have more carbs and have more water as well to distribute the carbs.
It's another thing that you can test. Obviously, don't test it don't just put in.
I'm thinking about testing with a pizza this week.
20 grams sodium, Cali Cruz.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I really need to test doing like a fast food peak. Yeah, so I might do that this week.
Or muffin peak.
Yeah.
A lot
Cookie
of people.
peak.
Yeah, a lot of people. Or the salt and vinegar crisp peak.
I'm just gonna.
That were a thing for a bit.
Yeah.
Everyone's salt and vinegar crisp.
I'm just gonna pick like the food that I'm craving and then just pretend that I'm pretending to peak on that.
I think you can overdo it very easily. Keep it simple. Normal meals. Yeah. I'd say normal meals. I won't change anything. I'd keep your normal meals and eat up into your show. It depends as well. It depends on when your show is. If you're showing at like 8 o'clock at night,
Yeah,
It'd be different if you were
You're not
after
gonna have
1
no
meal
food,
or 2 meals.
I think also you've got to play on your strengths.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you're going to be someone who's going to out-muscle people,
Yeah.
you should probably come in full and
definitely.
potentially overspilled rather than coming in shredded and a little bit flat. But for me, who I'm not going to out-muscle people, definitely. My strengths are going to be my shape, my condition.
Yeah.
Basically, those are going to be my two strengths and my midsection. Yeah. So the most important things for me are playing on those strengths and making sure that I'm in condition, my midsection's tight, and I'm getting full to a certain degree, but definitely not overspilling. Because the moment I overspill, I'm just going to come on stage with a low level of muscle, not conditioned, and I have no strength there. Who am I going to be? If I'm not conditioned, I'm not
getting a British title. Though.
No chance.
No chance at all.
Right, yeah. So that was the question for peaking.
Last one.
This has been a very BB oriented.
Yeah,
now that the lifestyle client has gone away.
Gone, We're gonna speak real bodybuilding.
Last question from the GOAT again. Would you ever go over maintenance calories on a refeed? So I think it depends on how you're approaching this.
What point you're in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if on a diet break for me now, there's not really any problem with going over maintenance calories because I've got time to then pull back into a deficit and therefore get into condition. But I'd say if you're peaking, you probably want to be a little bit more careful with that because you don't want to really overspill and lose some of the condition that you've got, basically. Yeah. But I don't see the problem in going over maintenance. You're probably going to recover more from a diet fatigue perspective if you're going over maintenance in a diet break. So for example, for me now, I'm trying to gain a little bit of weight in this diet break, mainly due to fullness. That weight gain isn't going to be fat, it's mainly going to be due to fullness and increased water retention, but I don't see the problem with going over maintenance on a refeed. Yeah.
We're also discussing it as well, lining a diet break or a refeed up with a devolume week.
Yeah.
We're also discussing that, and I think we both said, again, I think we've spoke a whole lot of nothing about all these questions. I think as answers to pretty much all the questions have been, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, true.
And I think depending on what position you're in, lining a diet break up with, like you did, like lining it up with a deload has been beneficial for you. But like I was saying, maybe it could be more beneficial to line it up with
full volume.
Yeah.
Just so you get more training performance out of it. But depends the way you're looking at it.
Again, it doesn't. It's going to be different for what someone wants.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, my diet breaks are to manage fatigue, basically, not to increase training performance. Obviously, it will increase training performance to a degree, but my goal of the diet break was to manage fatigue from all aspects, the training and the deficit, and that's why I lined it up, and it's worked well because I feel good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So thank you for Harrison for coming on the podcast.
No worries.
I'd like to say he's going to be full-time from now on. If you guys enjoyed that, I'll get rid of Laurence. He's a much better looking version of Laurence anyway.
He's still here.
Better physique.
He's probably still listening.
More knowledge. Yeah, so he's just an upgraded version.
On time.
Hey?
On time.
Yeah, better schedule, better routine, better bodybuilder. So yeah, we'll get him in full-time from now on. I'll sack Laurence for next week. Yep. So yeah, thank you for listening to the Limitless Physique Podcast or watching the Limitless Physique Podcast. Share this on your stories if you are watching. Give us a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, give us a rating on Spotify as well, and we'll catch you on the next one.